Hi, folks. My name is Raj Kapoor. Hi, I can see Sandeep,
Hello.
I can see Joe, I can see Neil, Ankur. The rest are probably hidden somewhere behind the scenes. So, hi, guys. Anyway, so good to be here. It's a nice, lovely, cool evening in India. I enjoyed the sun, and I'm in a beautiful place. I'm in a city called Goa, and I
Wow.
see it's like the Hawaii of India. So I'm enjoying. I'm doing a project with the government of Goa, and I'm having real fun as well. Today, I'm not going to get into some very technical talks today. I told Arvind Ankur that I'm going to just share a little bit about my journey in the space, in the blockchain and crypto space. And the space has been fantastic. Let me just start off. Let me fast forward, take it back by about 11 years. 11 years is a long time being in the crypto blockchain space, and I stumbled upon it literally by default. Today, I'm not going to show you a presentation. I'm just going to I'll speak from the heart. And it's changed my life. And with that, a lot of other lives. And I'd like to share that story with you guys today. So, December 19th, 2010, I was in the United States. I was in Atlanta. I was doing a project. And I finished the project looking forward to reaching home because Christmas was coming. Everything was closed in the United States. And I said, okay, I'm going to be home with my family, with a bag full of dollars because I finished my project. And so we paid at that time about $15,000 or $20,000, I don't know. And I was very happy. My boss came to me, and my colleague came to me and said, "We are paying you half in coin, half in cash." I said, "Excuse me, what is coin? What is this coin?" He tried to explain to me at what sounded like mumbo jumbo at that time. But frankly, I said, "I don't want this coin. It doesn't buy me vegetables in India." He says, no, that's not the point. It's something much more valuable. I said, all right, I'll listen to it. Fine. Then I said, okay, you're selling me short. You're paying me only half my damn fees. So he said, no, you will bless me one day. God bless his soul. He lost his life. He lost it. We lost him to COVID last year, but he changed my life. Now I didn't know that. He put it in a cold drive, cold wallet, and he told me, hey, take this. That's about, well, I actually negotiated $15,000 coming to me. That's five. I wish I had not. But he put me $5,000 of Bitcoins in that and told me, you take this and forget about it. I felt something like Jack and the Beanstalk. Lovely magic beans with me. But the mom thought they're useless. My wife thought they were useless. I thought they were useless. A few months down the line, he called me and said, Raj, have you seen where they've gone? So I said, hey, I didn't even know that. He says, just have you forgotten your password? I said, no, I haven't forgotten the password. He said, just go in and have a look. I was shocked when I saw, they really had actually grown. I looked outside the window, no beanstalk, but I looked in the computer, big beanstalk. And I said, I'm going to climb this beanstalk. And I said, how the bloody hell did this beanstalk come about? What's it? How do people make money in this so-called coin? And that started my journey in this space. I started doing a deep dive into the underpinning technology of blockchain. I understood that there's something. How do two people who don't know each other, trust each other, can actually trade, and actually the value will start going up? I was feeling rich. I was telling my wife, oh, it's become so much. I think I'm going to sell it now. Again, that guy said, don't sell it. You know something? I still haven't sold it. However, I did a lot of trading. I started trading. I understood the concepts, and I became a trader. I went back to the state, became a trader, did a lot of work out there. And as I said, my journey started with speculation. But the deep dive I did and the research I did on the subject made me believe that this was not just speculation, it was a revolution, thereby starting my journey from speculation to revolution. Now, I lost my wife in the same year, 2010. It was a year in which I not only did a lot, in 2011, not only did I discover something new, I also lost someone whom I had been married to for 25 years, more than that, maybe 27 years now. And that was very sad. And that was the year I had my daughter getting her admission into Boston University. She got a scholarship and she went to Boston University. And it was a very tough time for us. It was an exceptionally tough time for us. I had no idea what I would do. I lost a lot of hope in life, and a lot of things said, this is the worst. It was probably one of the worst experiences in life. And I'm sure some of us must have felt such experiences during our lifetimes. We've all lost some loved ones. This was a little cruel because it was really early. Never expected it. Anyways, I went deeper into my work and into the blockchain space. My daughter went deeper. She's now works for Walt Disney. And wonder of wonders, she's one of the few people who actually was part of the team during her internship. She was part of the writing team which wrote Breaking Bad. And everybody knows Breaking Bad. Even in India, everybody knows Breaking Bad. That was fun. And she also did a lot of work with me. She would sit with me. She would do her internship. I was in the States for a long time. I would do my work. I would actually do a lot of work with a lot of my friends in this space. Now, 2015, I got a huge break. I got a huge break because one of my friends, one of my colleagues, I say, he was working for MIT, and they were working on a blockchain project on, on the credentialing, blockchain credentialing of all your certificates, etc. So he actually looped me in that and said, "You're not going to get paid anything, buddy, but you're going to learn something." And I did. I worked almost a year on those projects, and I learned one hell of a lot. Let's fast forward from 2015, 2018. Well, I can actually bore you the whole evening, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it fast and furious, not the furious part. Anyway, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. 2018, I came to India, and again, I said, let's bring blockchain here. India is plenty of tech talent. Everybody loves technology. I'm sure they'll lap it up here. They will understand. I'll teach them. I had a lot of dreams. I still have. My dream was to make India the blockchain capital of the world. And I'm going to do that. That's for sure. But coming back, when I came to India, the first thing when I was speaking in a restaurant. We met at a coffee shop, and I was talking to this guy who said, "Hey, Raj, what are you doing?" So I said, "I'm in the blockchain space now. I do a lot of work in blockchain." And I kept on telling him, I did this project. I worked in the Canadian government. I did this program in Mongolia, put the Kashmir on supply chain, all sorts of things. He says, "Hey, that's put it one side. Shall I put in my money in Bitcoin or any other coin?" I said, "Excuse me, I'm talking blockchain." So he said, "I don't care what you're talking about. I'm talking Bitcoin." So in 2018, a lot of people in India did not know the real difference between Bitcoin and blockchain. They were interchangeable. They still are in most of the time when I speak, but now things are changing a lot and big time. So that started my journey. He said, "Let me see, guys, if I can make you guys understand what is blockchain and what is Bitcoin." Great use case, yes, but not blockchain. So I started my journey of being an educator. I started educating colleges, universities on blockchain. I started in 2018 with one college, one university. Today, I work with 91 universities across the nation, teaching them multiple aspects of blockchain. And blockchain is a great place. It keeps on making me relevant because it keeps growing. Something new comes up, DeFi comes up, NFT comes up, something keeps coming. Now the metaverse is coming up. Good Lord. It keeps us on our toes. We got to keep learning. Every minute, we got to keep learning. If I got to teach somebody, I got to learn myself first. Everything I didn't learn earlier. So coming back, we had this beautiful journey of teaching fantastic young guys. Most of them, by the way, are in the US now, writing smart contracts. A lot of them are there, by the way. I specialize in getting them to write smart, get into the business of writing smart contracts. I say, you guys can work from anywhere. You can work from here. You can work anywhere. So I get a lot of, we have, just like you have your Christmas, we have Diwali. I think when it's Diwali, my room is half full of gifts coming from all places of the world, where these guys are all happily placed and earning big bucks, probably bigger than me now. Anyways, I started my journey with education. So let's say I set my Genesis block right in the education space. And that's exactly where it should be. Because a lot of us come from different spaces, blockchain being a very relatively new technology. at least really new known technology. It has already been part of the DLT, yes, but in mainstream or in people's eyes, it came in very recently, especially in the enterprise sphere. So what I did was I then started working with a lot of one corporate entity approached me and said, "What is this blockchain? We heard you talk about it a lot, but what is it?" So I explained to them slowly. That became a second block of mine. I started doing a lot of advisory projects with corporate India. Corporate India woke up to that. So that was my second block. Then came a huge boom in India. A lot of startups started coming. A lot of startups. And a lot of startups would approach me and said, "Is blockchain the right technology to use? Can I use it with artificial intelligence? Can I use it with IoT?" A lot of questions. So 2018 to 20, I spent a lot of my time during COVID. Well, the world is hit by COVID-19. I started during that time. I worked a lot with these young companies, making them great companies. Now I started mentoring them, helping them, whether we need integration of blockchain, whether you don't need it, you need it at all, actually critical, non-critical. Today, by the grace of God, I worked with, I've mentored about 27 companies. 16 of them so far have got funded and big time. So that was my third block, startups. Education became my genesis block. Corporates became my other block. And my third block became startups. Then came a real kicker, and that was good. I started working with a lot of international companies wanting to come to India. And I said, all right, I'll do that for you because India is a different kettle of fish, guys. India is nothing like the West, nothing like it. India is 28 different Indias, thousands of languages, thousands of different dialects. And every couple of miles, you'll find a new strategy. It just doesn't work. One shoe doesn't fit all. It's a different kettle of fish. So I had a lot of my friends from the United States try to come to India. Great stuff, great products, great solutions, great ideas, but no Indian knowledge. So I set up I set up an advisory for them. I said, let's keep an India advisory strategy for you guys. Let me help you create that. Let me do the last mile for you. So I formed, in my alliance, I started taking up my partners, and we have now 47 lovely partners, international partners, who work with us to create solutions just for India, just like what McDonald's did. Do you know that India is the only country in the world where you get aloo tikki burger? That's a very local burger, which is with a very local palate. It's the only country in the world. Subway had to open a completely vegetarian Subway in one of the states because nobody else would otherwise adopt it. Today, they're both success stories here, yes, but they adapted. And that's what I started doing with these products. I started adapting and adopting them for our Indian markets because I knew both the flavors. I knew the Mac burger there, and I knew the aloo tikki burger in India. So I said, let's make things palatable. During this stint, I got picked up by the government of India for a couple of training programs, and that led to another story of mine. And that's the final block of my story, my fourth pillar. I was selected recently. I mean, I did a lot of work with the government. I helped them in projects. I helped them draft out certain policies, inputs, not the entire policy. I gave them inputs on policy. I gave them a lot of inputs on use cases in the blockchain space. And just 17th of November, 2021, that's now, I was selected as an advisor to the Government of India, Ministry of Finance. And that is a big thing because now I'm working on the current crypto policy, which is so controversial or made so much news and made so many headlines. It's been fun. So now I work with them, I advise them, I've shared my thoughts on policy. I've done a lot of work with them. But that's not the end of my story. Everybody asks me, what are you going to do with all this money? I say, I don't have any money. So he said, no, you got money. I said, you don't recognize Bitcoin, so it's not money, right? So it's crypto's money for me, not for you guys. It's fine, I'm poor. In fact, my surname is Kapoor. You take out the K, I'm poor. I've gone kaput. So I'm really poor. Coming back, jokes aside, I told them, guys, listen, in the next 10 years, half the world will run on cryptocurrencies. So people call me mad. People call me crazy. They still do. They still did when I was actually talking about blockchain. They still do. But I say, no, guys, did anybody know 10, 15 years back that there will be an Apple Pay and a Google Pay? Nah, nobody believed it. They said India doesn't have technology, people don't have mobile phones. Guess what? We have the highest mobile phone density in the whole world, and the largest English-speaking population, and the largest youth population. And these are the guys who are adopting technology like no other. Tier 2 cities, where I do a lot of development work with them and working, they are crazy to learn new technologies, and that's to be real fun. So I said, let's do one thing. Let's create a corpus of funds. I started working with a lot of funds outside who would love to fund Indian companies, Indian startups in the blockchain fintech space. So that's my space, still remains blockchain, DeFi, fintech. I still enjoy it, and I'm always going to enjoy it. Guys, I'm almost 60 years old now. People call me in India the grandfather of blockchain, also because of my gray hair. That's one part of it. And also because I brought in 11 years of my experience, which makes me a pretty grandfather in that particular domain anyways. Actually, I'm not really a grandfather. My daughter refuses to get married and give me a grandkid. So maybe one of you there probably can convince her. She's in LA. She lives in LA. So you guys can convince her, fine. She doesn't listen to me in that. So this title stuck for a long time till October 2nd or 3rd this year. I had an American client of mine. We had done some real kick-ass programs, really kick-ass programs for him. And we created a beautiful blockchain for him. And he wrote to me on my LinkedIn profile, and I still preserve that. Maybe I'll make an NFT of that one day. And he said, "You're not the grandfather of blockchain, you're the godfather of blockchain." I said, "I like that title." I took out my guns, kept it on the table, and said, "That's the title I need, not grandfather, guys. I'm still agile, I'm fine." I told him, "Great, I'm 28 with 32 years experience." And that stuck. Till today, I remain 28, and I keep adding the experiences to that. Never grow old. So guys, very briefly, that was my little story from speculation to revolution. Today, I work on at least 30 to 40 different use cases in blockchain. I enjoy them. I work with my partners. I bring them to India. I work with them. I customize the solutions. I work with governments. I work with institutions. And guess what? I enjoy every moment. Before I go, I have 2 minutes to share. You know what? Again, I'll come back and circle back to the statement I said earlier. What are you going to do with all this money? You know what we do? I married again 5 years back to a wonderful friend of mine who had also lost her husband, and we got married. And we decided we'll do something for people who are not privileged. In India, for example, we took up the cause for educating the girl child. Why the girl child? Because in India, many girls are kept away from mainstream education after some time. They're put into other work, etc., or they get married and they don't get an opportunity. So what we did, whatever my daughter and I, and my daughter, myself, and my wife, whatever we earn, 3/4 of it goes into the corpus of funds in which we train these girls in different aspects of technology, now even blockchain, and help them, whether they're in kindergarten, in college. We help them get placed, we help them get jobs, we help them get empowered, not just educated, we empower them. We have now 1,737 girls, which we say are our family now. That, my friends, is the bigger revolution, when you actually give back what you've learned. I've enjoyed that part of my life, and I still enjoy it. Thank you, folks, from my side. That was my little bit of a story. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I'm sorry, but if you did, feel free to reach out anytime. I'm happy to hear everybody's stories. Thank you, guys. I see a lot of questions. You want me to answer some questions if they are there?
Thank you, Raj, so much. And we have Michael. Michael's hand is raised. So over to you, Michael.
Thanks so much, Ankur. Thanks so much, Raj. Really enjoyed your session earlier. So I'm one of the co-founders of Unit alongside Yip, Brett, and a few others here. Ankur done a great job today at the World Mumbai Forum. Curious to hear what you see as the future for solving the inequity piece. So the inequity piece, the access to education and financial services, how do you see blockchain and tokens and digital assets working towards solving this?
Yeah, actually, I just wrote a piece in a newspaper, which I think I shared with Ankur. Anyway, basically, I shared how Bitcoin can bring the unbanked into the banking sector, on how it becomes easier when we just need it. All we need is a little computer device or this thing, and an internet connectivity. So I see that not only do I see it in that perspective, I see it in a perspective of Bitcoin becoming more inclusive. It's already proving in Nigeria and in Zimbabwe. I also see crypto coming in as a very strong alternative currency. In fact, I also see I have seen in tier 2 and tier 3 in India, for example, there is a lot more interest in learning crypto and learning crypto and blockchain. That can only augur well for a nation. There are multiple things we do. For example, I don't know whether you heard of a project called the Rohingyas project. Let me give you a very simple example. You probably can Google it. It's called the Rohingyas project. We've actually created an incomplete financial inclusion and social upliftment blockchain platform. I can share it with you if you like. I mean, I'll just share the link with you. And if I can share the screen, yeah, I can share the screen. It'll may take me a minute. Let me just pull that up for you. That should give you an answer completely. And that should give the world an answer that we can use blockchain for real good. Yeah, let me just share my screen. There we go. You need to have a look at this. And this is for everybody listening in. This is the power of blockchain. We had done this project jointly with a lot of people, and we were involved in doing a complete financial and social inclusion platform. And what did we do? We created their sovereign ID on blockchain, because the Rohingyas is a displaced community. It's stateless. Nobody wants to own them. Nobody wants to give them jobs. Nobody wants to give them an identity. We created an RID. That's the Rohingya ID. We created a community crypto based on function as a social incentive device. That was big and increases the social volunteering spirit. We also created a historical archive on blockchain, and we created an R Academy. So the Rohingyas benefited. If you really have a look at it, if you get time, please do go through this, have a look at the platform, look at what we do. And we created an academy for giving them the education bit as well. So this is the power of blockchain, Michael. This is the power of what we can do and bring in a lot of underprivileged or unbacked population into mainstream. That itself is big. The rest of the things repercussions are always there. More money flows in the economy, micro insurance, micro loans, microfinance. A lot of things start building around that. That is the power.
Amazing. So I think Yip had a few questions. Yip, why don't you unmute and ask your questions?
Hi, thank you, Ankur, very much, and thank you, Raj. Very inspirational what you've been speaking about, driving these movements. I was curious, you've helped incubate and seed and scale many of these projects over the past few years. Have you identified any patterns in terms of what does one need to do and to think about when one thinks token economics, supply, demand, market? What are models that have prevailed over time, and where have you seen rises and falls again?
I've seen actually, there are so many projects and so many tokens and coins today. It's very difficult to sift the wheat from the chaff, actually. It's really difficult. But we're really, I'll give a very small example. Recently, the whole world was lured by the Squid project, so to speak. It was a huge scam which happened. We all know about that. I won't get into the details of it, but it could have been avoided. And now how it could have been avoided, a lot of us tend to just see the glitter and the sheen, and we're all driven by greed anyways. If anybody had read the white paper of that, anyone had read the white paper, and most of us never read the white papers. Most of us just follow, like the Pied Piper Hamlin, we follow wherever he goes. Unfortunately, that's not the way things should work. You read the white paper, at least for getting an understanding, what are you getting into? A lot of people invest a lot of money, their hard-earned money. How many of them actually take home real money? Just a few, a handful. I can go on about this, but I think the real thing is to understand the project from the core. And that's what I actually tell my guys whenever either you're investing or you're creating a blockchain. Is it a chimera? Is it something real? Is it a real world problem you're solving? Or is it just a fad which is going to blow away? That's where you start getting your answers. The white paper of the Squid project, you know what? It had 27 spelling mistakes. Nobody spotted that. Seriously, even a kindergarten kid could probably say, I have got a spell check on my word. Why the hell can't I do it? Obviously, the developers were not from native English-speaking countries, so they made the mistake that didn't even bother to fix them. Second, they mentioned in them that they were partners with Netflix just because the show was going on Netflix. No one bothered to verify that. No one. Everybody rushed into the fool's gold, so to speak. It was like the gold rush in the US years back. It didn't happen. So the thing is, you must read your white papers well. You must understand the tokenomics well. And for that, I come back to my Genesis block, education. If you don't have that block in place, you'll be guessing halfway through. You'll be just shooting in the dark at times. I think what's really essential is to have a very structured education system around this, because people get in from different levels. Some get in from level 2, some from 11, some from ground, very few from the ground. We must have the next generation get up from the ground. They're not. And that is the biggest problem. So we have greed instead of education guiding us. Not a very nice thing at all. Education is my choice for all of us, all levels. I've written 26 courses, so I know that for sure, that it's helped me and the people around, and we've got some very good talent, a lot of them working, as I said, in countries outside India also. So that's it. That's from my side. That's my two cents on this.
Wow, that's very inspiring. Anyone else? Questions? Anyone?
Yeah, it's the Rohingya project. Yeah, you got that right. Yeah.
Raj, are you what's the next stage in the evolution of crypto for you? I mean, I know you're talking about the unbanked being banked by Bitcoin, et cetera. But like, what do you think is the biggest hole in the adoption curve of this asset class? Is it difficulty in valuing funds or valuing tokens or anything else?
Okay, one of the key things which I really would like to do is have a more green blockchain. I'm actually now working on a blockchain along with some of my very keen students, friends, whatever you want to call them, and we are working on a chain which talks about aligning with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I think that is going to be the future. Green tokens, greening of that, using photovoltaic, apparatus for or the solar energy for mining. All these things, we try to find out the right heterogeneous mix. Now, one of the key things which I've really worked on very closely, there's a company called FIRE. It's spelled 5IRE, and FIRE is doing some great work in the UN, aligning with the UN SDGs. And that's what I'm working a lot with them to make things better, make things more. In fact, I think by Jan, we will be able to put it on a test net, so to speak. So that's been good. Secondly, I'm working with another very nice organization called Threefold, and we are bringing in sovereign data on the edge. So we are working a lot on that and trying to see how we can marry these technologies at some point of time, having sovereign data and eco-friendly data. I think that's big because India is now big on data. They're having a lot of policies created around data, and sovereignty is one issue. Blockchains help solve part of the problem, yes, and we're working towards that. Adoption will only again come back to education. We still need to educate our guys. We still don't, most of them don't know where to start. And that's where the biggest problem again still lies.
We have a question from Michael. So I think it kind of answered, but you could answer if it's not. What is your dream vision for the future of the crypto industry? And also, how can we expedite the growth of digital assets, tokens, crypto in India? Yes.
The first again remains education. I'll keep that to one side. You start with that anyways. Apart from that, what can we do is, and what we are doing now is bringing, as India Blockchain Alliance, what I do is I bring in the awareness at all levels. The awareness doesn't have to come in tier 1 and metro cities. Sorry, guys, most of these people can just Google it and find out most of the information anyway. It's the tier 2 and tier 3, which is a real strength of our nation, of any nation. It's that, if you strengthen those, you have a workforce for the future. You have an economy ready for the future. You have people ready to walk into the future with their eyes wide open. That's not there right now. So one of the things, my dream, as I told you, my dream is to make India the biggest blockchain talent pool in the world. That's definitely my dream. As of date, I must have trained about 1,600 or 1,700 guys in blockchain in the software development part. There are many I'm doing in architecture and project management, plenty of others. We are very happy also that we've got 90 universities which align with us. So my dream is to see that every university has a blockchain program, every university, and that blockchain is for everybody. It's not just for techies, it's for everybody. Second, my dream is to have our systems, our e-governance, our governance systems on the blockchain. I said it's a dream. I don't know if it will be a reality, but it's my dream, all right. I want our financial systems to be on the blockchain. I want basically India to be a blockchain India and everybody to be crypto literate. Right now, we don't have them. So that's what my dream is. Bring in more adoption and bring in more changes. Using blockchain for good is what we would also like to evangelize going future. Blockchain is not just for the big businesses, it's also for doing something good. Let's create something good, like the Rohingyas project. Let's do something even better. That's my dream.
Yeah, so like
you said, you had somebody of Threefold. Wow, Threefold knows me very well. You ask Threefold anybody about Raj, they will be most happy to tell you.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, their mission and vision.
Yes, lovely. I love what they're doing.
So yeah, Yip, why don't you just sum up what UNIT is doing? I think we align a lot of energies, and we could learn a lot from you. And let's end today's session at that.
Yeah, Raj, I feel very inspired really by your vision of creating this aligned level of literacy about crypto and blockchain as an integral part to solve the inequitability equation, I guess. And yeah, we have run since more than a year the 6 weeks blockchain literacy program for the world. Like,
excellent.
We break it down. This is why we have like speakers like yourself or the founders of Threefold. We bring in people who can explain complex things in understandable ways, not only for tech geeks, but for anyone else that we need actually to understand this technology that's shaping our future, to engage in the space, while we're building that future, where it's still easy to engage and have a say and have impact and integrate SDG and ESG and whatever. Would actually be really amazing if we can team up and also invite you as a speaker to our students.
I'd love to work in whatever you guys need in this place. I'm happy, and whatever we can do together, I think it's a collaborative effort, because just like Bitcoin, it has no nation. It belongs to everybody. Bitcoin and blockchain is basically without borders. So I call it Bitcoin and blockchain without borders. And that's exactly what makes a little sense. We become collaborative. We don't work in silos. And as people tell me, why are you sharing everything? I said, listen, guys, we are supposed to be distributed and decentralized, aren't we? Are we supposed to keep everything here, or are we supposed to share it? That's blockchain. I mean, that's what it does. It's amazing. And that's all what we should do. So I'm happy to help in any way which I can. Yip, Ankur, Michael, Joe, anybody, all of you guys from there, happy to help at any point of time. By the way, I do a little program in Africa now. Africa is becoming a big destination. I do a program every Thursday in the evening sometime. It's called Block Talks by Raj. I actually talk blockchain in simple language, making Africa understand the value of blockchain, not crypto, because they are all crypto. So making them understand the value of both. And then I say, now dive into the water, dive into the sea only when you know how to swim. That's what I'm teaching them. I'm teaching them swimming right now so that they can navigate the waters themselves. They don't need me or a lifeboat after that.
Wow. Mary's just asking for the link of your talks. If you could, if you have it handy, you could share it with me, and I'll share it with the group later as well.
Which one?
Your Block Talk with Raj.
Oh, okay, yeah. I will send you. I will tell you which. It's an app you need to download, and then you can access it from. I'll send it to you.
Perfect.